Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Joseph Hasani, and I am a technical specialist here with Mevo. And welcome to Mevo Live. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. Oh, let me just mute something here. Hold on. Okay. Got it. Sorry, guys. Had a little monitoring thing going on in my headphones there. Welcome to the show. So on today's show, I'm going to be joined by Will Kirkpatrick a little bit later. He's another one of our senior technical specialists. And today's show is going to be all about showing you the ins and outs of the Mevo apps. So today we're going to be talking about the Mevo 2.5 app, which, the Mevo app with the 2.5 update, which allows for graphic overlays and allows for multiple remote mic inputs, and we're also going to dive into some of the multicam features as well. So before I continue, let's go ahead and bring Will in to the fold. Will, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Joe. So today, in terms of my setup, I am using the Mevo Start, which is connected to the internet via a power over Ethernet adapter, the Mevo PoE. And then I am broadcasting NDI to my computer running OBS, and I'm using HEVC, so I'm using just half the bandwidth that I normally would, 1080 using NDI. And then I have a blue microphone, and it is the Blue Bluebird, and it is connected to an audio mixer, which is then going back out to the Mevo Start using a 3.5 millimeter TRS cable.
Very cool. So I'm actually running a similar setup myself. So let me tell you what I'm doing right now. So right now I'm running my Mevo Start is coming directly into my OBS system, and I'm also bringing in Will from a Skype call. So I'll show you how that works too. So I'm connected via NDI as well into my OBS system. The graphics you see in front of me, my name tag here, is coming from OBS. However, the countdown that you saw at the beginning of the show, that was actually from the built-in app. So we can go into the app in a little bit and take a look at that. But before we move on today, I want to just talk about some things that we have going on. So if you're not familiar with the shows that we run, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do live shows on Facebook, on YouTube, and sometimes even on Twitch. And on Tuesdays, we do Ask Mevo Anything. This is generally going to be a single cam type show where we ask live questions and we work with a single Mevo without any type of wild attachments or anything like that. And then on Thursdays is the Mevo Live. And generally on Mevo Live, you'll get 2 technical specialists coming your way, maybe 3 sometimes. And we try to really stretch out how the Mevo can work and really show you the different ways you can use it, incorporate it into your productions. I also want to talk about, and maybe Will, you can even talk about this a little bit more, the Mevo Start 3-pack.
Yeah, absolutely. We currently have the Mevo Start 3-pack on Mevo.com, as well as our resellers. It's Best Buy, B&H, Adorama, Amazon. And it is going really fast on all of our resellers, as well as on Mevo.com. So be sure to pick that up as soon as possible if you're interested.
Absolutely. And then of course, on top of that, if you are already a Mevo customer and you know someone that might be looking to get the 3-pack or looking to get into Mevo products, you can sign up for our referral program. So this is at mevo.com/referral or mevo.com/refer. And this will save your friends and family 5% on their purchase. And you can also earn a 5% commission back on your end. So this is a great referral program we have to kind of spread that Mevo love around. And then what we're talking about today, and we mentioned it once already, is the Mevo Camera App, which is the 2.5 version of the app. So it has a bunch of new features like free graphics, more Mevo mic inputs, and as Will mentioned already, the HEVC support for NDI. So Will, I'm going to throw you on the spot a little bit here. As far as the HEVC support for NDI, what is that doing for our customers?
So we just brought this in 2.5, but this has been part of the Mevo ecosystem for a little while now. And the great thing about the HEVC option with NDI now is that what it does is it makes the data transfer of the video and the audio more efficient. So it uses less bandwidth, specifically on your internal network when you're broadcasting that signal from the Mevo to your computer or any other device or program that runs NDI.
Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. So to show everyone real quick, I'll just open up the Mevo app here, and we'll show you where you can see that inside the Mevo app. So let's see, make sure we have this set up. So here's the Mevo app right now. Again, this is 2.5 version. If you see me, if I look a little delayed, that's okay. That's just because I'm coming through the application as it stands right now. But what I can do is show you some of the settings right up front. So when you go into your NDI mode, this is under your regular Mevo settings. And you'll see over here, since I am using NDI mode right now, I don't want to turn it off just yet. But under it, it says you can enable HEVC. Now, this is something that you can't do necessarily while you're using NDI. Why is that, Will?
So you can't turn on HEVC when NDI is already on, because it's just how the signal is being sent out. So you have to disable NDI first, as well as check your resolution that you want to use NDI at. So make sure you enable HEVC first and then enable NDI, and you'll be good to go.
And absolutely. So as Will said, if you look where it says NDI resolution, underneath where it says enable HEVC, that's where you can change the bitrate for the resolution. So that with NDI HEVC will be cut in half. So as you can see here, this is 15 megabytes per second. That'll be cut in half to 7.5 megabytes per second. So that is pretty awesome. And it's less strain on your entire system, right? So it's less strain on the Mevo, less strain on your output. Very cool. So what are some of the other features that are new in the 2.5 app? That we have the graphics feature as well?
Yeah, the graphics feature is huge. I think a lot of people are really excited to have free graphics fast in the Mevo 2.0 app, or 2.5 app, I should say. And yeah, I know a lot of people were using the Multicam app even though they had a single Mevo just for that graphic ability. And so now you can do that in the Mevo 2.0 app. And this includes countdowns like you saw in the beginning. It also includes presentations, so PDF files, and of course regular graphics, as well as the graphics can be both JPEG and PNG graphics, so you can do transparent graphics also, which is really cool.
Absolutely. We could even do things like this, where let's say I want to do something that's not a full screen graphic, but I want to do like an over-the-shoulder graphic, something like this. This is all being done inside the Mevo app, and now that feature is free for everyone. So this is a good transition, though. Well, do we have any questions coming in? Let's take a look. So as we said before, we are live on YouTube and Facebook right now. So let's dive in. Let me see if I can pull up the questions here.
Yeah, we've got some questions coming in on Facebook.
We do? Great. All right.
Yeah, let's see. Jared says, is there a way to transition from the countdown to another scene that is pre-staged, or at the minimum able to do a crossfade to the live shot? So right now there aren't transitions available for graphics in either the Mevo 2.0 app or the Multicam app. It is something that we are looking into, because we know a lot of people do want to have those transitions in the Multicam app in with graphics as well, but currently it is not possible to do that in the Mevo apps.
Right, yeah, because you wouldn't have the countdown in the Multicam app at this time to use a transition with, right? So
yeah.
So you could do without the transition. You could do a quick change like that, though. So for example, let me bust into a countdown here real quick. Hold on. So if I open up a countdown, say here, and I'll show you what's happening in the background of the app. That's not it. That's it. So if you look on the top right here, you'll see where my output, right? So that's showing me my countdown. So in the background of the app, though, I can go in and I can change things up a little bit. So I can put my countdown in my corner if I want to change that, or I can get rid of it completely and then just add in another graphic or something setting myself up for the next scene. So let's say I did want to do that questions graphic, and I want that questions graphic to come directly out of the countdown, right? So you can see how I have this set up right now. But if you look at the transition, I mean, what's happening with our audience, they're still seeing the countdown. So if I click the, if I go ahead and click the check mark, now the graphics will change from the countdown to what I had previously selected with the questions overlay. So you can kind of do it, just not with any crazy transitions or anything like that inside of the Mevo app at this time. Cool. So Will, do we have more questions coming in?
Yeah. Fred says, on my Mevo Start with NDI, before I use my tablet to do static shots, everything runs smooth, but once I use the Mevo app on the tablet and I try to set up my static shots, my video gets really choppy and tends to freeze from periods of time.
Interesting.
That's tough. I mean, I would say generally because your phone or tablet is connected to your Mevo using Wi-Fi, especially if you're doing NDI, or if you're using NDI over Ethernet, I guess it's a different story. So you'll have to clarify for us if you're doing NDI over Ethernet or over Wi-Fi, but it seems more likely if you're having this issue that you're connecting over Wi-Fi and that there is a little bit of delay being caused because maybe it's not super strong Wi-Fi or really stable. But yeah, definitely let us know with more information.
So Will, let me ask you too. I mean, could that be a characteristic of the tablet itself, not being able to run the graphics or run the program to like smoothly?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely could be. Yeah, it really depends, I guess, on the tablet you're using and the setup you have. So yeah, give us more information. But yeah, that could definitely be a tablet issue. Typically, that happens more with the Multicam app because it is more resource heavy. But if that's happening to you with the you're doing NDI over Wi-Fi, so it's likely that that's the case. You might have some Wi-Fi instability. But yeah, let us know the tablet too, and that'll give us a little bit more information.
Awesome. Thanks for that question, Fred. And it looks like we actually have a question coming in from YouTube. And this is an audio question, but it might pertain to Multicam as well. So let's take a look. So DJ Fuzz says, "Hi guys, I have an audio question. I want to buy a second start, but wanted to check if there's a way to mute the mic on the second one and not the first one. So my sound goes straight from my DJ controller to the Mevo via the 3.5 millimeter input." Yeah, absolutely. We can absolutely do that. And actually, Will, do you have a demonstration you can show us what that would look like inside the Multicam app?
I definitely do. Cool. So here we've got the Multicam app. I've got just two Mevos connected. You can see it's doing auto director right now and just transitioning on its own. But yeah, if you just tap the waveform at the bottom, you can see I've got two audio input sources. The one camera's already muted, and then I've got the other camera, which is just using the internal mics, and that's just going as it is. So if you just wanted to use one, you could just leave that as it is. Just have one active. You could switch between them depending on which one you wanted to use. And that same audio stays, and no matter which camera that you're switching to. So the switching is independent of the audio.
Very cool. Thanks for that demo. So hopefully that answers the question, DJ Fuzz. So if you do get that second camera, just hop into the Multicam app, and then you can pick and choose what audio source you want. And this is actually pretty helpful too if you want to start mixing your audio around too. I know there's a lot of people a lot of Mevo users that we see, and when they're doing multicam setups, especially if they're doing something in a live setting, they point one of the cameras at the audience, and let's say that picks up just from the Mevo mic input, and that'll pick up the audio coming from the camera itself, and then they'll run their DJ unit through like the same way you're doing, right through the 3.5 millimeter on another camera. In the Multicam app, you can actually change those faders around and really create a nice atmosphere too. If you want that live kind of feel for your performances, that's cool too. So that is definitely an option of the Multicam. Okay. So we have just a couple of people chiming in on Fred's status and Facebook. So here Jared says you can have really strong signal, but the quality of the signal could be junk, e.g., lots of interference. I mean, that is something good to point out. If you are worried about your Wi-Fi signal, your cellular signal, we always recommend using a dedicated network if you can. So if you have your own router set up and there's nothing else on that network, it's closed, it's passworded. Specifically for the Mevo. I mean, if it's available to you, it's the best way to go.
Yeah, and since you're using Ethernet, yeah, just I would recommend using an Ethernet adapter. Obviously, you could use the Mevo PoE. You could use a third-party one as well, but I would definitely recommend doing that. And it sounds like you're also using the Samsung Galaxy Tab A, which is kind of a notoriously weak tablet, so that probably doesn't help either. But it seems like the issue is more because of the Wi-Fi network.
Yeah, so I would maybe take a look at both those things. Maybe take a look at narrowing down the traffic on your Wi-Fi network, and then I would also maybe try a different device and see if you run into the same issues. Because, like as Will said, the way the Samsung Galaxy series works is the A. Anything with an A on it is generally an entry level, whereas anything with an S on it is generally the higher end level. And where the advantages are for things like this, the tablet will handle graphics better. The tablet will be able to run multiple apps better, connect to Wi-Fi better in most cases. So the controlling device definitely adds to the experience for sure.
Yeah.
And then we have Nancy coming in. She asks, "Is it possible that my phone is too old to install NDI, a Samsung 9?" It is possible. I'm not sure what the minimum requirements are for NDI on phones. Will, do you have an idea on that?
I don't know any specific apps that are NDI apps for Android. I know iOS has several NDI apps, but as far as the Mevo 2.5 app, that has NDI and HEVC, a Samsung 9 would absolutely work to run that app.
Right, and then and obviously if you're using the Mevo, your phone doesn't need to have NDI capability, right? Because everything's happening through your phone. I mean, sorry, through the camera.
Right.
So even if your phone's not NDI capable, it's okay because you're just using the phone to connect to the Mevo over your Wi-Fi network or your whatever network you set up, and you're controlling the device from there. But the camera itself is really what's transmitting the NDI signal to, let's say, the computer or wherever it may be going.
Right.
But thank you for that question, Nancy. We definitely appreciate it. DJ Fuzz on YouTube says, "Thanks, guys. Well answered." Good. I'm glad. Hopefully, that does solve your problem, and hopefully you can pick up that second Mevo. And of course, if you're looking to get two Mevos, I'm not gonna shy away from an opportunity to mention the Mevo Start 3-pack. So the Mevo Start 3-pack is currently on sale right now at Mevo.com. You can get it for $9.99. It's also available if you're not in the US on Amazon. All of our retailers, B&H I think has it now too. So just Google Mevo Start 3-pack and I'm sure you'll find it. So again, if you're looking to get that second camera, you might as well just get the third and get the pack together. And let's see what else we have here. We also have, just to mention it while we're mentioning it, the referral program, throwing this back out there. So if you are part of our Facebook group or have any other friends and families that, and this is specifically for DJ Fuzz, that have Mevos, set up a referral code, get yourself a discount on that 3-pack. All right. Got to chime those in,
Yeah, absolutely. So looks like Nancy followed up with, "I was trying to play with my laptop for extra OBS use." So yeah, you can just enable NDI mode in the Mevo 2.5 app, and then it will connect over your Wi-Fi network or Ethernet if you're using Ethernet to your computer, and you can bring it into OBS. But don't forget, you have to have the NDI tools and the NDI OBS plugin installed, which you can find links to in our Help Center, which is a good plug for our Help Center as well.
Yes.
If you need assistance at all, we've got tons and tons of information in our help center. We've got articles on everything from the Mevo hardware to both the apps. And we have lots and lots of tips and tricks as well. And you can go to help.mevo.com to learn more. And you can also open a ticket with us one-on-one if you don't find your answer there.
Yeah, you know what, Nancy? While we're doing this, while we're discussing it, I'm just going to go ahead and link you to the article. And this is an article that discusses on how to connect the Mevo to OBS using a bunch of different ways, right? So it'll have NDI as one of the tabs as well, so you can look into that. And hopefully that'll clear up some things for you. Nancy's coming in hot. She said she's using Ethernet and installed on the phone ? Maybe clarify that question a little bit for us, Nancy.
I think she's referring to the NDI tools.
Oh, no.
So,
yes, on the computer. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. NDI tools would be the NDI tools and the OBS plugin you need to install on your computer. Yep.
All right. Easy peasy. Didn't need the single for that one. Sweet. All right. Thanks for that. Thank you, Nancy, for that question. Okay. So Robert is chiming in on YouTube. He's saying NewTek offers an NDI HX app on the Android to turn phones, cameras, NDI sources. That's pretty sweet. I didn't even know they had that. But it does allow you to use. It does not allow you to use in the Mevo app. That makes sense. Yeah, because that definitely makes sense. And then Mark is coming in saying, are there any plans to implement a real baseball scoreboard that can be controlled inside the app? Will, I know you have some answers for this one.
Yeah, so you can definitely do all sorts of custom graphics, excuse me, in the Multicam app, as well as the Mevo 2.0 app, including JPEG and PNG graphics. Let me just switch here. So
let me get you single.
Obviously, right now, the graphics that you can add to the Multicam app, as well as the Mevo 2.0 app, are not going to be customized for any one specific purpose. So right now, there aren't just standard baseball scoreboard graphics, but you can get very creative with the graphics that you can add. And because you can do PNGs, I can quickly jump down to say this. And I can add, let's see, team, and then quickly adjust the score. So you just need this base graphic that I'm using at the bottom. And then you can sort of customize whatever it is that you want to do. And you can do this with graphics for the scoreboard. You can do this for graphics for the bases, and show home run graphics, all that kind of stuff. So right now we don't have standard baseball graphics, but we do have the ability to kind of make your own graphics and make them really easy to edit within both apps.
Yeah, and I think it's important to, like, as you said, you know, we don't have we don't have specific graphics like that for that specific use, just because so many people use the Mevo for so many different applications, right? So you know, baseball is a huge one, but it's definitely just one, right? So a lot of people are using this for their podcasts. A lot of people are using this for their houses of worship streams, their own TV shows, really, you know, their own net shows and stuff like that. So there's a number of different ways you can do it. If you hop into, if you're not already, if you hop into our Facebook group, our membership group, it's packed. It's packed with a bunch of users that they've gone down this road with graphics and baseball. They have a lot of great solutions, a lot of third-party applications that you can use as well for getting the updated scores on there. So there's a lot of options out there for you when it comes to stuff like that. And then also, just to promote that group a little bit, if you're not a member of the group and you are using your Mevo and you're running into different scenarios where you want to ask different questions, join the group, because there's a massive amount of experienced users in that group that are always willing to help. So definitely something I recommend. Cool. All right, let's power forward. We got a lot of stuff coming in here. Nancy says, thanks for clarifying. All right, Nancy, yeah, and if you have any more issues, I mean, if we're not live talking to you, reach out to us at help.mevo.com. open up a ticket and we'll be happy to get into more detailed answers with you. Okay.
Yeah.
DJ Fuzz is chiming in, says can't get the 3-pack because then he would have 4 starts. You know what, DJ Fuzz, there is nothing wrong with having 4 starts. You can have one on the go. Put one in the glove compartment just in case, you know. But he also says
certainly connect all of them to OBS as well. So yeah,
absolutely. If you incorporate, I mean, and it's not just OBS too. Let us be clear. That's something that we use. But you can use Streamlabs OBS. You can use vMix. You can use Livestream Studio. There's a number of different ways you can bring the Mevo into a computer to build up how many angles and stuff you're using. All right. DJ Fuzz also says he's connecting via Ethernet, and he wants to confirm that all the cameras, should he move to a multicam setup, would have to connect via Ethernet. So, well, maybe you can give us a little bit more insight as far as like the actual setup. What is he going to need to get all of his cameras? He's going to have 2 or 3, let's say, hooked in Ethernet into his stream.
Yeah, so we definitely recommend using Ethernet adapters and connecting them via Ethernet because it's just so much more stable than using Wi-Fi, but you can absolutely use a mix of both. Like my current setup right now, I'm using a few cameras that are on Ethernet and a few cameras that are on Wi-Fi. Depending on, your Wi-Fi router or Wi-Fi hub, Wi-Fi might be completely fine for you. It also depends on, your surroundings, your area. When we're at our office, there are tons and tons of Mevos as well as computers and other people that it makes the signal not as great. And so we try and have everything on Ethernet then. But if you have, a good Wi-Fi setup, then you can absolutely go Wi-Fi for all of your cameras.
Awesome. Yep. That I mean, I couldn't clarify it any better than that. So hopefully that makes sense. Jeff Young is coming in. He's chiming in. Jeff's always with us on these shows. Gotta love it. Could you guys make a shareable folder, maybe under the help section, and include all of the graphics that you use that are generic so we could download them and have fun without them instead of recreating all of them? It's a good request, but to be honest with you, Jeff, on that, a lot of the times it's stuff we're creating on our own and just using as examples. We don't really have anything that's like preset. And also, if you really want to get into it, I mean, you want to have the availability to change anything, right? So if you're doing like team sports, you want to be able to change your colors around. So it might benefit you just to create your own folder and have like one template that you can change colors with and create different mods to. I can't imagine we would be able to come up with anything much better than what you guys can probably come up with on your own when it comes to your own graphics. You want to make them customized. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I've also seen, specifically in the Multicam group, lots of people have shared their graphics. And I think if you do a search in the Multicam group, you can actually search for a graphics folder or something like that, because somebody actually did create that. They made, I think it was a Google Drive folder that incorporates all the graphics that they use for their, I believe it was baseball or it might have been softball. And they made it so that other people can upload as well. So a lot of people do share their graphics. So I would take a look in the Multicam group or the Mevo Camera group, search PNG, search overlay graphic, and you might find a lot of really great resources there.
Yeah, that's a great call out. I didn't even realize that someone had done that in the Multicam group. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, well, so it looks like that's it for questions right now. So we'll give that a little bit of a break. If you do have more questions and you are watching us live, again, we're live on YouTube and Facebook right now. Put them in the comments. We'll be happy to answer them if we can live on the show. Get those questions answered. Cool. All right, so we're talking.
Yeah. Also.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. We'll take it away.
I was just going to say that today we're not on Twitch, but we are going to be broadcasting more and more on Twitch. So check us out there and give us a follow. It's twitch.com/Mevo Camera, just like YouTube as well as Facebook.
Awesome. Yeah, no, absolutely a great call out. So a couple things I want to dive into a little bit. I want to do a little bit more demonstrating on how, that's not what I want. On how to actually get into the graphics on the Mevo application, if I can. So here's my Mevo application on my tablet. Let me just make sure this is all ready to go. Cool. So again, getting into your graphics, if you look on the bottom right-hand side in this section right here where you can't really see me pointing at it, but it's on the bottom right-hand side, there's an easel with a picture frame, and that will bring up your options. So what this is going to be is your location, your graphic location. So I have a choice where I can do over the shoulder, I can do a full screen overlay, or I can do a lower third. So let's say I want to click into my lower third. I do have some already preloaded, but let's say I want to make a new one. I click the slide button on the top here, which is a little bit cut out on that scene, but there's options there where you can select if you want a picture or not. So let's put my picture there. There I am, looking handsome. Okay, and you can also change how you want your text to look. So if I want a title and a subtitle, I can absolutely do that. Let's go Joseph. Let's go text spec. We click done. I also have the option to change the colors of this graphic, and I could change the opacity. So if I want it to just be a blank text over the screen, I can have it like that as well. And I can also flip to white text. So let's go with that. I kind of like that. And we can stick like a little bug of me in the bottom. So now if you look at my menu, I have options, right? I have my transparent background, or I have my white background. So let's go with the transparent one. And let's pop it on and see how it looks. There it is. So, there it is. So now there's my graphic. It was created from within the application, and I'm able to make it transparent and give it a kind of cool look. I actually kind of like this a little bit better. Well, what do you think? Than the actual whole thing here. And then that graphic will now stay with that shot wherever I go when I'm in OBS. So it's something to be aware of, especially if you're using graphics from within the app and using a separate software system. If you want to, let's say, for lack of a better word, complicate your setup, you want to be aware of what's going where. So if I want to get rid of that graphic, I can absolutely go back into my app. Let's just go back into the app here. Okay, so now we're back into the app. All I have to do is click the little red circle just to get rid of it, and the check mark to confirm it. And now that graphic is gone. So when I go back to our double here, you'll notice that that little graphic that was like right here is now disappeared.
Yeah, somebody was asking me in a ticket recently about the difference between loading the graphics in the Mevo 2.0 app and then loading them in the Multicam app. And in the Mevo 2.0 app, they are loaded onto the micro SD card versus the Multicam app where they are loaded through the app directly. So that's just something to note. If you do want to do graphics, now that they're free, you do have to have a micro SD card.
Yeah, so that's actually a great call out. I mean, we recommend just always having a micro SD card in your Mevo at all times. This will help us a couple of different ways. This will help us as far as like submitting logs. Let's say something does go wrong and you do have to submit a ticket to us. If you have that SD card in, it'll capture additional logs that we can send to our dev team if it's a bug or any type of firmware or software issue. Also, it records a backup of your stream on the card as well. So speaking of like multicam and stuff like that and how the SD cards work, well, can you go over a little bit? Two things I want to ask you. One, just the process of uploading a graphic between the apps, like just start to finish, right? So, where are you getting the graphic as to how it gets to the stream? And then two, as far as when you're using the Multicam app for recording, what are the nuances that are involved in recording with the Multicam app as well?
Yeah, so let's see. For the Multicam app, the graphics are coming from your default photo album, and this is the same on iOS as it is for Android. A lot of people want to be able to access on iOS like their files, so they can pull it directly from Google Drive or Dropbox or something like that. And then the same with Android. A lot of people use micro SD card for storage. It's something that we're definitely looking at, but at the moment, everything has to be pulled directly from your default Photos app. So it's really easy to do that transfer from cloud storage to the Photos app. So that's just one note that I will talk about, and then let's see what else.
Oh, my other question.
Yeah, I would say. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that covered that. And then the other question was about recording on the Multicam app. If you want to maybe like give us a little demonstration of how that looks.
Sure. Yeah, let me load up my demo real quick. There we go. So recording on the Multicam app is really, really cool because there are two methods of recording that you can choose from. Up at the top, there's the record to device. And then at the bottom is ISO recording, where it says record angle backups of all Mevo SD cards. So what that is, what ISO recording is it records everything that Mevo is seeing throughout the entire time. So if I just had ISO recording enabled and not record to device, then no matter what happens, I'm always getting the backup of anything that happens for either camera. So this is really great for sports, podcasts, anything that's it's unpredictable what's going to happen. And it's also great anyway because you can bring these from the micro SD card into a video editing software and really just have a fantastic final cut of whatever it is that you do shoot. For record to device, this is really great, and I use this often specifically for this use, which is sharing to social media. So record to device will record directly to your default photo app on your phone or tablet that's running the Multicam app, and it just makes it, this is so much faster than any other way of getting your footage and sharing it with other people on social media, on cover over email or messenger programs, because it does record just straight to your device and you can instantly share it. You don't have to download it like in the Mevo 2.0 app. You don't have to load up SD cards. And so it makes it extremely useful and very, very quick.
Awesome. Thanks for that explanation. And such a great feature, right? Especially for those that are, doing that post editing. Now you have each individual shot set up the way you wanted it, and you can adjust whatever you need to adjust. So if you are doing a quick live edit and you messed up, don't worry about it. You have the backup. You can always go back in and fix it. Very cool.
Right.
All right. Well, covered a lot today. We covered the 2.5 updates. We covered a lot going on in Multicam. We talked a lot about NDI. That was a big question as well. So let me just take a look and see what's going on in question land and see if we have any more questions coming in. And please, again, if you are watching live, we are answering questions live. If you want to get a question in, get it in as soon as you can. This way we can get it answered live on the show at Mevo Camera on Facebook and YouTube. All right, so as of now, it looks like we're good as far as questions are concerned. So, well, let's just wrap this up. A little bow on it. Anything else you want to talk about today, as far as the new advancements in the Mevo app, or some of the stuff that's going on in the multicam world?
Yeah, I would say the last thing that is new and pretty exciting about the most recent update to the Mevo app, which is the 2.5 update, is now you can use up to 3 Mevo mics, all for free. So before you were limited to using one Mevo mic camera if you didn't have a Vimeo subscription, but now you can use 3 for free, which is really great. I love using the Mevo Mic app, especially if I wanted to send in audio from very far away or just want to be kind of walking around while I'm talking. You can have that phone in your pocket and have it send off to your iPad running either the Mevo 2.0 app or the Multicam app. You can use the Mevo Mic with that as well.